your boy Minute. Welcome to the Vendetta Army.
What is happening, people? It's your boy, Big Will, Minute. Welcome to the Vendetta Army, people. What is happening? Hope your weekend was fun and eventful, because mine wasn't. Because once again, I was stuck in this damn sling. Did go to the zoo for Family Day. That was interesting. All day walking around. Got super tired way quicker than I thought I was going to. It was pretty hot, and I was in this damn sling, so yeah, there was that. But aside from all that, what we have is a wrestling review, of Stomping Ground, WWE's newest pay-per-view. They had it at the Tacoma Dome in Washington this Sunday. So let's talk about it. Shall we? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through the card, tell you what happened on the card, like wins, losses, and give my reviews on it. It's not a play-by-play. You know, I'm not gonna go hold for hold or what happened, match for match, none of that bullshit. I'm not gonna do none of that. I'm just gonna give my thoughts on it, whether I thought it worked or it didn't work, and give some of my opinions. So, first match I didn't see. Because I turned to it, I think I was binging Game of Thrones at the time, and I finally turned to it a little after 6. It's like 6:10. I'm in Central Time, and apparently the cruiserweight match already happened, which was on the pre-show, the kickoff. It already happened, and the first match of the actual pay-per-view was starting, which was the Raw Women's Title match with Becky Lynch against Lacey Evans. So I didn't see the 205 live match for the Cruiserweight title between the champ Tony Nese, Tazuro Hazawa, and Drew Gallagher, but apparently Drew Gallagher won, and later on in the show they gave a recap, so I got the, not really highlights of the match, they kind of just said, oh, by the way, if you missed the pre-show, Drew Gallagher won. So, I mean, my thoughts on that, even though I didn't see it, I was expecting Tony Nese to have a longer run than that. I like Tony Nese. You know what I'm saying? He has a good build, good body, good look to him. Maybe they'll snatch him off 205 Live now and put him on the regular card. You know, I mean, if they're doing it for, you know, Ali and Cedric Alexander, you know, why not Tony Nese? You know, I don't think none of those guys should be relegated just to 205 Live, to be honest. You know, let them all, you know, wrestle and do things. They shouldn't be relegated just to that show. But that's here or there. So the first official match of the card, like I said, was the Raw Women's Championship match between the man, Becky Lynch, and Lacey Evans. And this went on first. I was like, wow, really? As hot as the man is, and y'all put her match on first? But, first, I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I hate Becky Lynch. I hate the angle. You guys who follow me know my reviews, my feelings on it. Think she's mediocre, and that spot, they could have gave that spot to anybody on the card, and they gave it to one of the most mediocre workers on the women's roster, in my opinion. And now she's blown up, and I was hoping it'd be over by now, hoping, you know, with WrestleMania hangover or whatever, but they still rocking with it. And I actually love Lacey Evans. I mean, every match that she's had, whether it be actual, like this is her second time facing Becky on the pay-per-view, but when they've touched, anytime they've touched, even on house shows, Lacey completely carries the match because she has such a repertoire of moves to help carry a match and move the match along. Plus, she's doing awesome heel stuff. and Becky Lynch has like 8 moves. No, too much credit. She has like 4 or 5 moves, and it's boring. She's boring to watch. She's boring to watch. She's boring on the mic, and people, they just love a rebel. They love a rebel, so now they're still on in this anti-establishment thing. And now that the WWE's came out and made it known that her and Seth are an item, now we got this whole power couple thing. Same mess we was dealing with Nikki Bella and John Cena. So now they both had the belts, and now they both, boyfriend Seth Rollins, his girlfriend Becky Lynch, blah blah blah, da da da. They constantly throwing that down. Oh my God. So I kind of had a feeling that if not, unless both of them were gonna lose the belts, and we know Seth wasn't losing the goddamn Baron Corbin. So I didn't figure neither one of them will lose their belt. 'Cause they're gonna ride this wave forever. I mean, and then this match, I was so disappointed in this match. Once again, Lacey is carrying the match with her moveset, and Becky's doing her same 5 or 6 moves, stiff ass, ridiculous moves. You got that one good exploder, and then like the little spinning elbow off the middle rope. You know, is one of her only 2 good moves. Other than that, it's punch, kick, stupid stuff. And then it ended with a quick disarmer tap out. I was like, wow, really? I mean, first I was like, okay, are they done with it? Are they burying Lacey? But then later on we find out that's not the case. But I'm like, why end the match so quick? And there was no red flags or something went wrong. You know, I don't think anybody got hurt. There was no reason for to end the match so quickly. But it just like, maybe something happened in the match. I had to keep my ear to the grindstone to figure out why the match happened like that. Because this is the second time in a row their matches have been lackluster. Let's not even go for the fact that their last match they had on I can't remember what pay-per-view that was, where it was just Money in the Bank was just god awful the way that ended. Somebody screwed the pooch on that one. So hopefully maybe they're building towards SummerSlam, you know. But even me, being a fan of Lacey and liking her work, even I'm going to get tired of if they make it last too much longer. I mean, I'm all for long feuds, but when you make somebody wrestle, okay, they're interacting with each other every week, and now the whole split roster thing don't mean anything anymore with the whole wild card or whatever rule they got, to where you pretty much see them Monday and Tuesdays now, especially if they're hot. And then on the pay-per-view, so after seeing some people interact for like 2, 3 months, 4 months, I mean, they may have worked back in the day. That ain't gonna work now. So you either need to just let Lacey beat her and let Becky chase her a little bit to get her belt back, or just end it and let Lacey go and work with somebody else. I prefer her to work with somebody else, to be honest, because there's a lot better talent on that women's roster than to have her, especially because Lacey, she's not green, but she's still learning, but she has a tremendous upside of potential, and have her working with Becky Lynch, it's not doing her any favors. So like I said, it was quick match. I'm disappointed it was a quick match because I wanted them to redeem themselves from the Money in the Bank match. But it was a quick match, and Becky Lynch wins with a quick disarmer, and Lacey taps out. And they made her tap out, didn't protect her or nothing. She just tapped out clean. It almost makes you think they're trying to bury her character. But then, you know, so this whole power couple thing, they still rolling with that. But then next we get backstage. Paul Heyman is apparently coming out of Baron Corbin's locker room, dressing room. So we got this thing thinking, well, maybe Baron Corbin's going to choose Paul Heyman as his referee. So then Paul cuts a little promo about, you know, they're asking, is Brock here? Is Brock here? Well, you know, what you need asking is Kofi Kingston here? Is Seth Rollins here? And da-da-da, you know, blah, blah, blah. So he cuts that little promo. He leaves. Baron comes out and pretty much says, yeah, he does have a special referee. Everybody's going to find out tonight. Then after he wins the belt, then he'll deal with Brock Lesnar, blah, blah, blah. But they don't explain why the freak Paul Heyman was coming out of your locker room. This is another reason why a lot of people were so upset with how this card turned out, because of that right there. Everybody was speculating that somebody like Paul Heyman or somebody, you know, somebody special. I mean, they built this up. You know, Seth beat everybody up who was thinking about being a referee. So you really got this. People are invested in this. Who's going to be the referee? Who's going to be referee? But we get to that later. So next we get the tag team match. We get the New Day versus Sammy and Kevin. Now there were some rumors going around that Big E was going to turn tonight. He didn't turn. Spoiler alert. But I was like, man, you know what? Maybe he will, because New Day been rocking for a while. I mean, they're not stale. I love the New Day. I love what they do, and they're good friends. But what people fail to realize, so many people are looking for the needle to drop on the New Day, because especially with Kofi doing more of his own, and he don't want to seem like he's not a heel, so he can't have the New Day coming down with him all the time, helping him win matches. He has to do it on his own. So people are wondering, so what's Kofi and Big E going to do now? Oh, let's just turn Big E. That way, Big E and Kofi can have a nice little feud to kind of let Kofi go off in the sunset with his title run. Because he's done well. I didn't think he would have it this long, and let Xavier be with Kofi, and they kind of turn on Big E. But I was like, what? No. Because first of all, people fail to understand, the only reason New Day is still together this long in today's day and age of WWE, where people were breaking up all the time. I mean, hell, they even broke up the Shield. Vince loves the New Day. He loves them. That's why they got so much leeway to do what they do. Throwing pancakes and doing all this craziness, hosting WrestleMania. He loves the New Day. And they sell merch. New Day ain't going nowhere unless they choose to break up. They not going to break up the New Day. So people can go ahead and miss me with that. So this match, the beginning of it, they completely talk about the whole, me and my cousin used to call it the beat up man. Xavier Woods got destroyed at the beginning of this match. Got hit with damn near every finisher, every signature move. And this went on for like 5-6 minutes of him pretty much having no offense. Kevin and Sammy are just working him over. And Kevin Owens is doing good heel stuff. This thing where he does, he yells at the crowd. He's talking real loud, talking stuff to his opponent, talking stuff to the crowd. Classic heel Kevin Owens, what he's known for. He's a good interactor. Classic. So then Xavier ends up finally getting a hot tag to Big E. So then Big E comes in, does all his signature stuff, belly to bellies, shoulder blocks, big hard clotheslines, running off the ropes, big splashes, Good comeback offense for when the big man gets the hot tag in after being on the apron for so long and getting denied the tag. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were doing classic heel wrestling in a tag match. So like I said, he finally gets the hot tag, and then he tags Xavier back in. I'm trying to think. I'm going off the cuff here. I got some little notes. He tags Xavier back in. But I was like, wow, Big E came in with all that high power offense, and then you tag Xavier back in after he was in the match for like 7-8 minutes, getting destroyed. That was bad storytelling, but oh well. I mean, he would have clearly not came back in the ring that soon. He was clearly still winded. So then he comes back in, and the first thing he does is he tries to do that thing where he puts Big E up on his shoulders and does the drop on him. I don't know if they planned it that way, but when he first went to do it, he couldn't do it. If that was him naturally, because he just came back in the ring, like I said, if that was him naturally, he couldn't be able to do it. He played it off well because he played it up as, he got to hype himself up. So he hit himself in the stomach and the abs a couple times to get himself ready. And he eventually powers E up, and then boom, drops him down. So then that goes on to get some more offense. But one of the good things I like that they did a halua kick in the corner on Woods, and then threw him right into a popper or power bomb. That was a good exchange. Got a near fall on that. The Big E had some nasty clotheslines on Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn took those clotheslines really well, because Big E is just so powerful. He's super powerful. And then we see then Big E, he comes back in and he does his classic that spear he does through the ropes. I mean, Big E looked good. You can tell that Big E's been out for a while, and he's feeling good about himself. He's healthy. Because he had some good stuff. He looked real good in this, almost to the point I was like, maybe Big E will turn. Because he's looking like he needs to get a push. His through the ropes little suicide dive he does has never looked that good. But all in all, it all ended with because the Big E took himself out of the match with that. So now it was just, Kevin Owens and Woods in the ring by themselves. Nice little counter ends with a stunner. Which I'm glad that they finally put the stunner over, because Kevin Owens got the 3 count on Woods with the stunner. So good, because I know Stone Cold hates when they use the stunner, but it gets kicked out of. So at least they actually put the stunner over. So that was good. Good match. I enjoyed it. One of the brighter spots of the pay-per-view so far. I did hear that the 205 live match was really good, from what I was hearing. And they always tear it down. But this was a good match too. Good tag match. Crowd was into it, but the crowd loves the New Day, so the crowd was into it. They were into that match. And then of course they were into the Becky Lynch match, because those people, they still love Becky, so they was screaming for that. So then you go backstage with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross promoting their match. Nobody cares. I don't understand what that angle's about. Why they got Nikki Cross with Alexa Bliss. But yeah, unless that ends up being a swerve where Alexa turns on her or Nikki turns on her. I mean, I like crazy Nikki Cross. I don't like this naive deer in the headlights Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross is part of Sanity. I don't like the way what they doing with her. Just another person that got brought up from NXT that's going to get buried. Next, we get the U.S. title match. Ricochet versus Samoa Joe. And I love Ricochet. A lot of people don't like the flippity flip stuff, but man, if you see this guy live, you would appreciate what Ricochet does. This guy is amazing to watch. And Samoa Joe is always a good worker. But he was a little stiff in this match, though. He was working real stiff. And I don't know if he was upset, because Samoa Joe's too much of a professional to be mad that he was going to be dropping the belt. But he just seemed a little stiff. It seemed like he really wasn't, or maybe they haven't touched that much. I don't know. I mean, I don't watch it every week, not religiously. So I don't know how much they've worked house shows and regular programming, if they've touched a lot. Maybe they're just unaware of each other, because Ricochet, I mean, his moveset and his arsenal, you gotta come with it to make it look good. But one thing Ricochet does do, he's one of the best sellers in the business next to AJ Styles. So Samoa Joe was really putting the punishment to Ricochet, and Ricochet was selling it well, because he gets hit, he flips, he lands on his head, he takes good nasty bumps to make it to where the person in the rafters will go, ooh, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. And of course, a nasty Uranagi, Samoa Joe. Ricochet went in the corner. He caught him with one arm. Boom! Ricochet took it like, bah! Took it good. I mean, really sold it. Making Samoa Joe look like a damn monster. The crowd was dead during this match, though. Dead. I don't know if they were coming down off of the New Day high, or if they, I mean, that was kind of the theme of this night, was the crowd. Some places they just shouldn't go, but besides when we'll get to a match later on. But the crowd was kind of dead, which was kind of disappointing, because this match was really good, but the crowd really wasn't that invested in it. Because, I mean, every time Ricochet would take a huge bump, I was expecting the crowd to ooh and ah, and it was like crickets. So, I mean, but he was doing good work. He was doing good work. Good job of selling. Ricochet had his high octane offense. He did a couple of, when you make that old schoolyard thing where you take somebody's foot and you flip him in the air. He did that, where he kind of ran off of Samoa Joe's chest. He did some more flippity stuff. Classic Ricochet offense that normally would get the crowd jumping out of their seat. I know I did when I went to Raw about a month ago. But the crowd was just like, and I was like, damn, really? Ricochet got there showing out. They're showing out. But like I said, and Joe seemed real stiff. Like, once Ricochet went into his offense, it's almost like Joe was like, I ain't gonna say that he was trying to no-sell him, but it almost seemed like Ricochet, like I said, Ricochet's selling for him, making him look like a monster. But when it came time for Ricochet to go through his offense, Joe was real stiff. Even when he would get knocked outside the ring, it was like stumble out the ring. I don't know if maybe he was hurt, constipated, maybe he had to go shit or something. I don't know. But It didn't look good. Like cell wise, it didn't look believable. It looked like he was ready to get out of there. He knew he was dropping the belt, and he was like, okay, I'm dropping the belt. I just got the belt back from Ray, and then you make me drop it to Ricochet. I'm mad. That's what it seemed like. I ain't gonna say that because I think Joe's a better professional than that. Excuse me, but that's what it seemed like. He did the springboard outside moonsault, and then he did another one inside. Crisp. Good slow motion camera work. It's probably gonna be on a magazine cover or like internet memes and stuff like that. The classic Ricochet. It looked real good. Joe did a nasty clothesline coming off of a German suplex. You know what I'm saying? Right into a German, boom. And then Ricochet does that thing where he has such good control of his body, where he gets folded up like a pretzel, and then Samoa Joe, wow. And then again, Ricochet sold it. Made it look like he got destroyed. You know who else does that well? AJ Styles. Get to that later, too. But all in all, I mean, Ricochet did. He comes back, some comeback offense. And then out of nowhere, I mean, like I said, it went kind of stiff. They was doing good work. And then out of nowhere, Joe gets in the drop zone. And then he kind of just lays there. And, of course, Ricochet hits the 630. I wish he would. I hate that he doesn't do that stomach to stomach. Maybe that's the protection-wise. Maybe he's less likely for either person to get injured if he lands on the back. But I'd rather that 630 would look better to me if it was a chest-to-chest bump. But he gets the win. Ricochet becomes the new United States champion. His first title on the main roster in WWE. And then the crowd woke up when he won. So that was good. I guess they was just not invested in the match, or maybe it just wasn't that many people there that you couldn't tell. But they woke up for the match. And backstage, everybody was back there to congratulate Ricochet. A couple of people was backstage to congratulate Ricochet. And also Triple H shook his hand. Because Ricochet is one of Triple H's guys. So that was good to see. Happy for Ricochet. The dude does good work. He does real good work. I'm expecting a lot of good things from him now that he has a belt on him. Let's see if they keep it on for a little while. Because the U.S. title has kind of been like a hot potato here lately. So hope they let Ricochet do some work with it. And then next we get the tag title match for the SmackDown tag titles between Heavy Machinery and Eric Rowan and Daniel Bryan. And of course, with Bryan being from Aberdeen, the crowd was lit this whole match because it's Daniel Bryan. And regardless what be going on with Daniel Bryan, he's still over as shit when it comes to his hometown. It was like the Yes movement all over again. And he couldn't even really play his heel card. He was smiling, cheesing big as hell because he's home and that's his people and they still love him. So if Daniel wanted to leave and go somewhere else, he'll be all right, people. Daniel will be all right. He don't need the WWE because his fans are gonna flock and follow him no matter where he go. This match, I mean, like I said, the crowd loves DB. Heavy Machinery, I love those guys. I love them. Otis and what the hell is the guy's name? Otis and Tucker. Otis, he holds the deadlift. Well, he did hold the deadlift record at the Performance Center. Big, strong, short stature dude. They're just so green. They wasn't ready, and you can tell in this match that they wasn't ready. They had good matches. I mean, good move sets. But when Daniel Bryan and Rowan were working, it just looked so much fluid. You could tell they're just the veterans. Rowan looked like a damn monster. Man, I love Eric Rowan. He moves so well in the ring for a big guy. Everything he does has such intensity and such power. Like when they were doing their offense, it made you perk up. And when Heavy Machinery's doing their offense, you were kind of like, okay, come on. All right, that was good. That was good. They showing some athleticism. Okay, big dude jumping off the rope with some moonsaults. Tucker, big, strong dude, funny dude, comic relief, but serious. The moves wasn't stiff. They didn't do anything bad. They didn't have any real botches. You can just tell that they green. And they were in there with some veterans. It was so noticeable, the contrast between the two teams. It didn't make for a bad match because it was a good match. But you just knew Heavy Machinery wasn't going to win. And if they would have won, I would have shit on the match, to be honest. because they're not ready. There's no reason to take the belts off Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan, especially in the SmackDown tag division, which the tag divisions on both shows really aren't all that. So keep the belt on, keep Daniel Bryan happy, keep Eric Rowan happy, keep them on TV, because they work good. They put on good matches. They good on the mic, good promo work. Why take the belts off of them and put them on heavy machinery? Two guys who really aren't ready. They shouldn't have been called up. Be honest. They should have spent a little bit more time down at NXT to get ready. They just wasn't ready. They put on a good match. I would like to see them. I hope they don't go away from this. I hope they let them fight more. Let them touch a little more. And then maybe we'll get a pretty good match of them. Maybe they're like third match if they let them go that long. Which tag division, who knows? But I'm glad that they didn't let them come out the gate, first time out the gate, and win the belts. You know, let us see, because for me, this is really my first time really seeing them on the main roster. I mean, I saw them on NXT a few times. The next thing you know, they was getting called up. I was like, damn, okay. So this is my first time really get to see them work, and I was impressed with them. Nothing really bad to say about them. Just they're not ready. They're just not ready. They did a handoff suplex that I've never seen before. I think it was Otis came in, the suplex, and then, you know, the stalling suplex, you know, the up and down, and then he goes and hands him to his partner. Granted, it was Daniel Bryan, so he didn't weigh a lot, but I was like, wow, that's pretty unique. A stalling handoff suplex. Okay, heavy machinery. Way to show me something new. I enjoyed that. You know what I'm saying? Then the crowd, they had the chants, the "We Recycled" chants, and then "Drive a Prius" chant was kind of ridiculous. That made me chuckle. But hey, I mean, that's Daniel Bryan's people. They are totally, like I said, Daniel Bryan gonna be okay, because they totally, his people, his flock, totally went from the Yes movement to buying in to the Mr. Environment guy, Captain Planet, what I call him. They done bought into that too. We recycle, drive a Prius. Come on now. That's gold. That's gold. Daniel Bryan did his little running drop kicks to the corner. Boom, boom, but then it got countered to a power bomb. Nice. They had some good spots in this match, man. Good spots. What I did like was when Daniel Bryan was doing his yes kicks to Otis. And I knew Otis was probably going to, you know, take him and get hype, but he did it in a unique way. He kind of hulked up, but if you know his character, he's kind of a goofy dancing character, so he was kind of dancing with it. So yeah, taking the chops and the kicks and everything. I was like, okay. And then went into an exploder. The one good move that Becky Lynch has. He finished it off with an exploder. So that's a good sequence. You know what I'm saying? Tucker, like I said, that dude is, for a big dude, he did some moonsaults. I think he did a moonsault. He attempted one in the ring, and it kind of botched because he kind of overshot it. Well, Daniel Bryan, I think, moved too late, so he still kind of got hit by Tucker's legs. I think he was supposed to completely move out of the way. But the fact that he was up there and he did that, and then he also did like a diving crossbody on the outside to Rowan, and he kind of hurt himself because he was moving kind of gingerly after the moonsault. So, but I mean, like I said, those dudes, man, totally impressed. You know. So then Daniel Bryan's rolling Tucker up with a schoolboy for the win, and they retain the belts. So like I said, it was a good match. Heavy Machinery they're not ready yet. They're not ready yet. But I do look forward to seeing them wrestle more. And yeah, that's about all I got to say about that match. But like I said, I'm not shitting on Heavy Machinery. I like them. They're just not ready yet, and I'm glad they didn't win tonight. Give me one more match. Give me one more pay-per-view, and then they should be all right. Because in between then, they'll be working house shows and Raws and SmackDowns. And by next pay-per-view, if this feud is still going on, I'll be okay with them going and putting them over and letting them win. I'll be happy if they drag it out and let them get a moment like SummerSlam or something like that. But we'll see. They announced that Extreme Rules is going to be on July 14th in Philly. Taking Extreme Rules to Philly, huh? Home of ECW. Crowd is going to be that could be hit or miss. They're just going to shit on it. If it's really extreme, then they'll be okay. But if it's not, ooh, that could be a bad pay-per-view. That could be a bad pay-per-view. Okay, next we get this match: Alexa Bliss versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's title, and Alexa Bliss is on Raw. So I mean, why we're even split anymore, I don't know. And one thing about this match is that it made my Alexa go crazy. All match, because nothing else was going on in the match. This match was boring as shit in the beginning. It was super boring. The best thing about this match, I hate to say it, was the booties. You know, I love me some Alexa, and Bayley got cakes for days. And that was, I mean, because otherwise I was just like, dude, I was so bored in this match in the beginning. The crowd was dead. It was almost, in the beginning of this match, I was so ready to call this match a glorified Attitude Era Divas match with time. But midway through the match, they got more aggressive. You know, I kind of like the new Bayley, because it was more punches thrown, more kicks thrown, more aggressiveness, more hard headlocks. You know, just aggression. I was like, okay, they kind of beating each other ass a little bit, which is totally unexpected. I wasn't expecting that from this match. But it was, I mean, I was like, wow, you know, sunset flip powerbomb to the corner by Bayley. I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? And then Alexa did the sunset little powerbomb on the outside, and then they worked a lot on the outside of the ring, throwing each other around into the barricade and everything. I mean, it was a hard hitting match. But then the one thing I was noticing, you got Nikki Cross that's in Bliss's corner and didn't do anything. I was just thinking, why is Nikki out there? She's not doing anything. She's basically cheerleading. I mean, that's Nikki Cross. She got to get involved. And then out of nowhere, she jumps in the ring when Alexa is like on top, I think about to do Twisted Bliss, and she jumps in the ring and distracts Bliss. I was like, okay, were you supposed to distract her? And then that gives Bayley a chance to counter, and then next thing you know, Bayley gets a belly to Bayley and gets the win on Bliss. And I was like, but then Nikki comes in like, oh, I'm sorry, and I'm thinking, okay, Alexa's about to turn on her. You cost me the match, blah blah blah. But then they sit there and they kind of console each other and kind of hug it out. And I'm like, what the hell? So you go from being, I hated the match in the beginning, then y'all got super aggressive and did some high impact moves, which I totally didn't expect from those two. And I was like, wow, okay. And then I was thinking, okay, when's Nikki going to get involved? And then she gets involved in a totally ass backwards way, and then the match is over. I was like, damn, oh, okay, I guess now that's over. I'm hoping now they could move on to the fighting people on their actual show, maybe. Oh well. Then they recapped the 24/7, which is the best thing on WWE television. Sad to say, the 24/7 title. So if you didn't know, I think it was it SmackDown? I think it was SmackDown. R-Truth was back in the back, about to leave, waiting on Carmella, who we thought was Carmella, and it ends up being can't even think of his name right now. The little skid, the Spud dude from Impact. He was dressed up like Carmella. He rolls R-Truth up to get the win. But then he actually was getting married this weekend, so he got married this weekend. So as he gets married, he's walking down the aisle. A ref is there. He looks up, and then R-Truth rolls him up while he's walking down the aisle after getting married and wins the belt back. I was like, wow, this thing. I told everybody when they first introduced this, R-Truth's going to end up being like a 15-time 24/7 champion. And I swear he's probably up to like 5 or 6 by now. And it's been like maybe a month and a half since they introduced the belt. That thing is classic. Best thing they could have done, because they got so many people on the roster who don't do anything that this gives them something to do. They get to come to work and actually earn their money. of course, they're all probably still wrestling on like main event and things like that, like before SmackDown and Raw start. So they're still working matches and wrestling, but at least they get on live TV, running around chasing R-Truth around, doing little segments, which is cool. I'm okay with it. And next, you see Ricochet backstage, taking photos with his newly won title, and the club shows up. I'm like, okay, what the hell they gonna do to Ricochet? They trying to get him to throw up the Too Sweet. I'll think back. I'm like, I don't think Ricochet was ever over in New Japan. So I was like, okay, so there's no, because I'm kind of out of the loop on some of that. I'm like, oh, is he part of the club? I said, okay, he wasn't part of the club. Then I was like, AJ shows up. I forgot that they rekindled that. And I was just thinking during Ricochet's match, the way that he was selling and everything with Samoa Joe, and how great some of the Impact matches were, and the recent feud was with Samoa Joe and AJ. I was like, man, if Ricochet and AJ do a segment, that'd be good. And looks like we're gonna see it. He was like, yeah, man, I'll see you tomorrow. I was like, ooh. So I guess AJ on his heel stuff again. So AJ Styles and Ricochet, sign me up for that. We better see that all the way up to SummerSlam. If that's not a SummerSlam match, I don't know what the hell WWE's thinking. If that's not a SummerSlam match. Next, we get Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Now, this match, I got some stuff written down for this match. I'm gonna hit the quick points now before I talk about it, so I can get them out of the way. Drew McIntyre, that deadlift suplex that he does, that Cesaro made famous, where the person doesn't jump with you at all. It's all straight power. That was nice. The flapjack on the announce table by Drew was nice. Nice spot. Drew, he got a nice superplex, and Roman took it well, slow mo. It looked nasty. That was nice. And then other than that, this match was those were some of the high points of the match that I liked. Good spots. And then of course, Shane doing the coast to coast, which I thought Roman was going to get up and spear him or something, but he didn't. He didn't do it. Shane actually did the coast to coast. It wasn't his best coast to coast though. I've seen him do a lot better coast to coast than that. Shane, it's about time for him to sit down. I don't know why they pushing Shane so much. I heard boys are kind of mad about that in the back too. So I don't know what that's about. Hey, boss's son, he do what he wants, right? Does what he wants. But other than that, this match in the beginning, they just two big dudes who have moveset. I mean, I respect the hell out of Drew McIntyre. He has some nice moves, but when all is said is done, these are two powerful dudes. Two big, powerful dudes. So when they get together, they just beat the hell out of each other. Punches, clotheslines, kicks, headlocks, old school ground and pound. That's what this match was. They ground and pounded the hell out of each other. Only thing this match was missing was blood. You know what I'm saying? If this match would have had some color in it, they just ground and pounded each other the whole match with some high impact moves. Of course, Roman, he did his classic, comeback offense. Clotheslines in the turnbuckle, the jumping clothesline, Samoan drop, false Samoan drop a couple of times, Drew with his Glasgow headbutt, teasing the Claymore, they just beat the hell out of each other. Like nice work on the outside. Shane kept getting involved. A couple of times he pulled the ref off. But it all ended with, going for the Claymore. Ducks it, bloop. Superman punch, bloop. Get rid of Shane, bloop. Spear, bloop. 3 count. And I'm like, wow. To be honest, a lot of people may want this to be over. I like when Roman and Drew work together because they two big, powerful dudes. And in today's small era of wrestling, where you get a lot of athletic guys who were like super kicks and flipping off the rope and technical moves and all this other stuff. It's good to see two dudes just go out there and just destroy each other. I'm okay with it. And I'm a fan of both guys. So I just would take Shane out of the equation. Actually put him, I want to see it like in the Hell in a Cell. Put him in Hell in a Cell, or if Elimination Chamber or something's coming up, you know, put him in that. I just want to see these two dudes just beat the hell out of each other. Whether it be by themselves or somebody else, but just take Shane out of it. But apparently it's not over because Shane, apparently him and Drew are going to face Roman on Monday. Which I was like, man, I guess that keeps the feud going, which I want it to, but I just want Shane taken out of the equation. Because he's making it too much about him. And I love you, Shane, but you're not a superstar, bruh. Let the guys fight. Next, we get Kofi against Dolph in a steel cage. Like I said, Kofi by himself. No New Day. This match, good match, man. These two dudes got so much chemistry together because they've been fighting each other since they came into the business. So they know each other so well, and they're friends. So anytime you got two friends that fight each other, it makes for good matches because they've touched a lot, which is very important in wrestling to have touched. For those of you who don't know, this means when you wrestle a lot. House shows, you practice. So they've touched a lot. They know each other. They got good chemistry. They can make a match work. You can make mistakes. And you can still make the mistakes work because you've worked together so much that it makes the matches believable. You let everybody get their stuff in. And with it being a steel cage, you use the cage as a weapon, which they both did. There were many opportunities and many situations where they throwing each other all. And then with these two dudes being two guys who normally take punishment so they can take bumps well, they took bumps well for each other. So them getting flung all around the cage looked real believable and looked like it hurt, which is what you want to see in a cage match. You want to see the cage being used. Don't just do a match in the cage and forget that you in the goddamn cage. Now, they didn't climb it as much as I would like. They had a couple of high spots off the cage. Which spot? Kofi had a springboard off the top of the cage, which was cool. Other than that, I don't think Dolph really had too much stuff off of the cage, except for them teasing climbing the cage, trying to get out. There wasn't too many. There were more escape attempts through the door than there was on the top of the cage. I wish they would bring that back more, but maybe it's a safety thing. Why they don't try to do a lot more escape attempts and do more stuff on top of the cage. I guess we're having an elimination chamber kind of took the luster away from the actual regular steel cage match, and then of course with the popularity of Hell in a Cell. But steel cage matches with the granddaddy, you know. I wish they would do more classic steel cage matches. But Dolph had a stand-in drop kick, and I still say before Randy Orton stopped doing it, like Dolph Ziggler still has one of the best drop kicks in the business. I mean, just out of nowhere, just straight off 2 feet, bow, standing drop kick right to the side of the face. Athletic as hell. These two guys are extremely athletic. Kofi showing off his athletic ability, you know, getting snap nared and landing on the cage and then tried to go for an attempt, which I knew he was going to do. That's classic Kofi though, just like if you ever watched him in a Rumble, you know. But only bad thing about this match was that it was in a steel cage. Because with these two, it kind of hindered them because they like to be all around that ring doing stuff, you know. And this kind of hindered them because the in and out of the ring, and you know, Kofi didn't get to do his suicide pray for me little dive thing that he does, or different moves, high impact moves on the top ropes. Dolph had like maybe one super kick. Steel cage probably wasn't the best thing for these two. I want the steel cage to make more appearances. Like, oh, Roman and like I said, I want to see them in a Hell in a Cell. I see Roman and Drew in a regular steel cage match too. You know, it wasn't good for these two, but it all worked out in the end because they put on a good match because they got so much chemistry with each other. Everybody hit their stuff. You know, we had SOS, near fall. You know, Trouble in Paradise, near fall. You know, Zigzag, near fall. You know, a lot of back and forth trying to get out of the cage door. You know, scraping and clawing to try to get out the door. You know, Kofi getting dazed, and Dolph was like right by the door, and then Kofi got to run and grab him to keep him back in. They told a good story. And of course, like I said, when we got two good friends who have been wrestling together for over 10 years, of course they're going to tell a good story in the ring. They've been battling for the Intercontinental, United States title, tag titles, their whole career. They know each other. But one of the most unique finishes that I've seen in this match, Dolph is there. Kofi's dazed. He's on the other side of the ring. Dolph is hanging halfway out of the cage. I'm like, okay, are they just going to let Kofi go and grab him and pull him out? But it's not believable because Dolph was halfway out. So and if they did it that way, that means Dolph would have to sit there and actually stop trying to get out to let Kofi grab him. So what did they do? With Kofi being athletic, they let Kofi run across the ring, dive through the ropes, and outside of the cage door to beat Dolph to get his 2 feet down. Never seen that before. That's how you get me, WWE. You show me things I ain't seen before. The handoff stalling suplex, never seen before. The flapjack onto a table, announce table, good shit. The flip powerbomb into the corner, freaking diving through the ropes from the other side of the ring, out of the cage door. Come on, you got me. Good shit. Where my clap at? Good shit. Good shit right there. Good shit. And Kofi is still the champion. Like I said, I thought Kofi was going to lose it the very next night on Raw. Here, this is his 3rd pay-per-view. And it looks like he may see another one. From here, I don't know if the Dolph angle was done. They've given him 2 pay-per-views. He's lost both of them. Normally a rubber match is the 3rd match because they both have won one. Just like the same thing with Lacey Evans. I don't know if he's going to get a 3rd match when he's already lost the other 2. So I don't know where Kofi's going to go from here. Maybe Big E will turn on him. It'll be stupid, and I don't think so. But I'll be interested to see what's next for Kofi. And of course, New Day celebrated at the end. They didn't put the camera on Dolph at all. He wasn't, like last time, he automatically went and set up the next match by saying he did it with his friend, blah, blah, blah. I don't want him in a steel cage. So you knew they was going to keep going. They didn't do that this time. So I don't know. So if this angle is over, we'll see where they go here for Kofi, because you still got Brock looming, but they're not going to put, Brock's not going to beat Kofi for his cash in. He's going to do it on Seth. But I don't know. With Fox, did Fox deal with SmackDown? You never know what they're going to do. So then we get to the main event. Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin has announced who his special referee is going to be. So of course everybody knows that Seth Rollins has been beating down anybody who's even attempted to hint at the fact that they may want to be that special guest referee. So there's been all these rumors going around of, I personally thought he was going to name himself. I can't get nobody to do it. I do it myself. That'd have been unique. But a lot of people, because of what happened earlier in the night, they were thinking it's going to be Paul Heyman. I was like, okay, but it was Lacey Evans, which a lot of people I've been seeing were upset about. I know the crowd was. I like Lacey, so I was happy to see her out there, and it made sense how their match went. It kind of explained to me why their match was so horrible and why it was first. If she was going to, and eventually Becky was going to end up coming back out and getting involved in the main event. So it made sense. So that kind of, it settled me on that aspect, because I was wondering what the hell in the match earlier, why it happened the way it happened. But since they were doing this, they were still going to get to come back out, still get to perform. So, but he's not going to beat no woman down with no chair. So, no matter, because if he'd have chose anybody else, he was just going to beat him down. So how they alleviate that? Make it a woman. And with it being Lacey Evans, who just lost to Becky Lynch, and Becky Lynch is Seth Rollins' boyfriend, you see where I'm going with this whole power couple bullshit they doing now. So But this match, typical. I don't like these two working together. I don't. I'm over it. I'm over it. I like his little inside out with the clothesline that Baron Corbin does. It's one of the best spots that he has because it really shows his athletic ability. He throws the best right hand in the business because he's an ex-Golden Glover. Sometimes he's a little tight with it. I think he be really hitting them dudes because Seth went to jump off the ropes and Baron hit him with one, and they didn't show it in slow-mo because I think he may actually clock Seth. I think he may actually clocked him. May have actually damn near knocked him out, to be honest. But let's go. The crowd was upset, like I said, because they didn't like Lacey being out there, so they were chanting boring and chanting AEW and chanting Moxley, and they were shitting all over this match. The crowd. It's funny how a crowd can be dead the whole damn pay-per-view, but only get excited to shit on the wrestlers out there trying to work, which I don't appreciate at all. But hey, you paid your money, you do what you do, So, like I said, the powerbomb on the announce table on Rollins was good. I love seeing people go through an announce table. Hit a frog splash, but of course Lacey didn't count the 3 count on the frog splash. Which was, you knew she wasn't going to call it down the middle. I mean, she was doing slow counts. She changed it to a no count out when Seth put him through the announce table. And then he got back in the ring and was like, hey, since you're not going to count no 3 count, count him out. So she counted slow. 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi. Got to like 8 and she like announced that this is a no count out. No count out, blah, blah. So I was like, okay. So then they come back in. Seth beat him down some more. Then, of course, Baron grabs a chair and starts beating him down with the chair. And then she announced that this is no DQ. I was like, oh, my God. And the crowd is just shitting over there. I think this is around the time of the Moxley chants were starting. Shitting down on everything, But before that, of course, Seth, he got his sling blade in. He got his blockbuster in. Falcon arrows, Of course, the frog splash, I already said before, that they didn't get a count on, which nice. He does a great frog splash. But then, she makes it, oh, yeah, he did the Falcon, I'm sorry, he did the Falcon arrow. Let me get that rock clap off of there, because this doesn't deserve a rock clap. This deserves this right here. The Falcon arrow on the chair, and that was like the last draw when she wouldn't count that, you know what I'm saying? And then, of course, then she hits him with a low blow. Well, first she slaps him twice, like good hard slaps. And, I think Seth, from the chair shots, he had some welts on his back. She may have busted his lip or something from the slaps. And I thought he was going to actually, grab her or something. But then he turns around because, in the days, off of the nut shot, she hit him in the nuts. He dazed him. But before she could do the cover, which I was actually thinking, are they really going to let Seth lose the title like this? And this blatant, just one-sided mess like this? I mean, I ought to be okay with it because it's good storytelling. But I was like, are they really going to do this? But, of course, Becky Lynch comes down, takes out Lacey Evans. And then, off of that distraction, Seth is able to get the curb stomp. And the ref that Baron says screwed him in Super Showdown is the one that ended up counting the 3 count. So he gets the win. I'm pretty sure this angle's done now. They gave Baron his 2 matches, his 2 months worth of a push that people shat on because people saying he's not ready. I don't think he's not ready. He's just, his character is just a little weird. And the crowd just hates him. But that's good heat. I know Jericho mentioned that on his podcast that, Baron isn't ready. That's why they didn't sell any tickets for this pay-per-view because nobody wants to see Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins. True, nobody wants to see Baron Corbin versus Seth Rollins, but I think if you put Baron Corbin up against like a AJ Styles or like a Samoa Joe, or give him somebody like what Roman and Drew were doing, somebody he can go power for power with, I think it'd be golden. They're just not good against Seth. Baron against Brock, you know, somebody like, I mean, Baron needs a good dancing partner. Seth isn't it. Seth isn't it. But they celebrate in the ring, the power couple. She pats him on his ass. They're all, yeah, they're gonna be a good household tonight. Blah blah blah. The crowd goes crazy for it because, you know, they all for this shit. I hated it because, like I said, so now with them being out as a couple, I'm probably stuck with this Becky thing probably up until SummerSlam when they finally let Lacey take the belt off of her, because I don't see anybody else beating her. They're not really pushing anybody else right now, unless Shayna Baszler gets called up and freaking breaks Becky's arm in retaliation for her go around Rousey. Boom! Book it. There it is right there. There it is right there. That's how I will finally be set free of this Becky Lynch bullshit. Shayna Baszler is going to get called up and is going to take out Becky Lynch in retaliation for her go around Rousey. Boom. There it is. There it is. Rock clap. May take the piece of trash off. And the yes gif. Calling it now. Calling it now. That's what's going to happen. Save me, Queen of Spades. Save me from this bullshit. All in all, I mean, I don't ever shit on WWE. I always find enjoyment because I'm a fan. Even though I'm critical of it, I have my opinions about it, and I wish it would be better sometimes. But I always find enjoyment. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about it right now. I wouldn't have the network from the inception. I'm one of the original people of the network. I've had it since it started. Have never missed a month of my payments. So they get my money. And if I didn't like it, I wouldn't be paying for it, and I wouldn't be watching it. Because there's plenty of other stuff that I can do on YouTube besides talk about wrestling. So I don't need it. So I think it was like a C+, B- show. You know, F, D, no, because I enjoyed it. If it was one of those, I would have turned it off. And at no point in time did I want to turn it off. I was a little bored during the Alexa Bliss Bayley match in the beginning, so they got a little bit more aggressive into it. Other than that, I had no problem with the pay-per-view. Happy for Ricochet. I'm happy to see what's going forward with Ricochet and AJ Styles. I enjoy the Roman and Drew McIntyre, hard-hitting, old-school, big guy match. You know, I enjoy it. Heavy machinery. I'm looking forward to those guys getting a little bit more experience and becoming a pretty good tag team. Rowan is a damn monster. What else? Rowan's a damn monster. Kofi and Ziggler didn't surprise me at all, because those two, like I said, they've been working together for over a decade. So, of course, there's no way they're going to ever put on a bad match unless they just decide to phone it in. And the Becky Lacey, I understand now because of what happened at the end, why it went on first, why it was so quick, and why it sucked. I almost forgot about it. That's how forgettable that match is. And this is supposed to be their main attraction. Becky Lynch, the man gimmick. Whatever. But like I said, hopefully what I think is going to happen will happen. Because Shayna Baszler, as much as they calling people up from NXT, and she's still down there, her and Velveteen, I look forward to when Shayna Baszler get called up, and the first thing she do is break Becky Lynch's goddamn arm for her girl Ronda Rousey. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Like the video, like it. Hit me in the comment section. Let's talk about this, guys. I know it's not a Bruce Blitz review, but I hope you guys still hit the comment section like you normally do for my original video of my review, and let's talk about it like we always do. And until next time, make sure you follow me on my social media. Hit those things up for me, please. Hit them up. And until next time, peace, hair grease. Like the video. Like it, and everything like that. Deuces. Yeah, I'm still hurt.